What a huge victory in Pittsburgh. The title for this game could be Halftime Adjustments. What's next for our 13-time NFL champion Green Bay Packers? Join the conversation. It's next on your Packers Fan Podcast.
Remember when people doubted that Jordan Love was going to be our guy? I think it's safe to say that he's our guy. I'm Scott Clark from the Gaming Outsider, and I'm happy to be wrong with my prediction from last week's episode. It may have taken 2 quarters for the Packers to figure out the Steelers, but it sure felt good to finally finish a game not on pins and needles.
Indeed. Wayne Henderson here. Rose-colored glasses are on, and in addition to that huge win over the Steelers, the Vikings lost, the Bears lost, the Cowboys lost, and the 49ers lost. It doesn't get much better than that, in my opinion. So it's a happy victory day. It's episode 329 of the Packers Fan Podcast, and as such, my good buddy Scott Clark and I will go over our favorite things from the win over the Steelers and even some not-so-favorite stuff, too. Thanks, as always, for your listener feedback. Got some great stuff. We're going to share that in just a bit. And Scott, since we last spoke, didn't you make a guest appearance on another show this past week?
Yes, I was. I was able to kind of consort with the enemy a little bit. Not really. Jeff Hartman, a fellow Steelers fan, has a podcast, and he graciously allowed me to come talk on his show about my wrong prediction for the Packers Steelers game. And it was really great talking with somebody. It was short, about 15 minutes. I was on. It's a small segment on that episode, but highly recommend you check it out. It was a good time.
You did a good job.
Well, thank you. Also, we're going to help preview next week's Sunday's Packers-Panthers game. This time it's going to be at Lambeau. Looking forward to that. And if you like keys to a Packers victory, I got them. But let's jump into this win. I want to talk about the leaders of the win over the Steelers. First off, on the passing side, Jordan Love, 29 for 37 yards for 360 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, passer rating of 134.2.
Yeah.
Also, he had 20 pass completions in a row. This ties Brett Favre. He tied a Brett Favre record and did it all in front of Aaron Rodgers. That was kind of awesome. Rushing, Emmanuel Wilson had 11 carries for 61 yards. Receiving, Kraft Packaged Cheese himself, on tight end day no less, 7 receptions for 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a game ball, by the way. I watched the locker room. That was pretty sweet. And on the defensive side, Xavier McKinney had 7 tackles, 6 of them all by his own, but I gotta give my love some Micah Parsons. He had a sack in there, and when he does it and just puts up the one finger, I just get so fired up, dude. It's really good. So, all right, the game itself. We have the opening offensive drive. Not a great start. 3 and out. First 2 plays yielded some positive yardage. Third play was a drop pass, and the Packers were forced to punt. Thankfully, Bo Melton was able to tackle the returner immediately at the 20-yard line. It was a good stick. So, trying to make a lemonade out of lemons there. But defense on our opening defensive drive, the very first series, Rodgers had a huge sideline throw to put the Steelers in scoring position. Thankfully, the short-range defenders did their job and kept the Steelers from converting another first down. In fact, Rodgers has sacked this series for a huge loss, which forces a field goal attempt. Boswell's kick is good, and Steelers drew first blood. They were up 3-0 at this point.
Which is not unexpected on the road in Steelers Stadium with Aaron Rodgers. But Green Bay answers with an absolutely surgical drive, and I just have 2 words: Tucker Kraft.
What a game.
That was fantastic. Jordan's longest pass was 24 yards on this drive. Everything else was shorter passes, solid runs, and Tucker Kraft finishes the drive with a beautiful catch and run into the end zone to give the Packers their first lead, 7-3. I'm savoring it at this moment, Scott.
Oh, totally. And I mean, I know you're going to hear Tucker Kraft's name a lot this episode. But man, what an addition he's been. If you have him on your fantasy team, you were very happy this week. That is a lot of points to get from a tight end. And I mentioned the game ball that he got, after the game, but they had him give a little speech. And, don't listen if your kids are around. He had some foul language and stuff, but it was just really sweet to see that camaraderie back in the Packers locker room. He just says that he's doing it for his fellow teammates. He gets out and busts his butt as much as he does because he loves that team so much and loves each and every one of those players. Man, I just really love seeing that on the Packers sideline again. Thankfully, Green Bay gets to get back to it in the third quarter. This drive started out slowly with a third down right away, but Love threw one right before getting tackled, and it looked like he was just getting rid of it. Then Kraft readjusted, probably got away with a push-off, I'm not going to lie. As soon as he did it, I was like, oh, man, we're going to see a flag there. They didn't throw the flag, but that wound up putting the ball, putting the Packers near the Pittsburgh 20-yard line. It was an insane grab. It just looked like he was just like I said, just trying to get rid of it, and it somehow wound up in the hands of Tucker Kraft, and it was just absolutely amazing. Then Williams reeled one in from Love and ran the 8 yards to the end zone for a score. Packers were still trailing at this point, though, 16-14.
And just a quick note about quote unquote getting away with anything without getting a flag. How about the Steelers linemen who were double covering and basically mugging Micah Parsons on at least 15 occasions where there wasn't a flag. So, it all kinds of evens out a bit. But let's stick with the positives for now. Another solid drive by the Packers wrapped up right at the start of the fourth quarter. Welcome back, Christian Watson. He had a 33-yard catch inside the red zone to set up a score. Jacobs caught one and ran it into the corner for 6 points. And after the touchdown, the Packers were up by only one, so they elected to go for two, and it worked. We converted with a pass to Dobbs, leading at this point 22-19. Go Pack, go!
Go Pack, go indeed. Kraft had his second score on the very next drive. Packers just stepped on the gas and started driving. The Tucker Kraft caught it around the 19-yard line, ran it the rest of the way in for 6. Packers extended their lead 29-19 at this point. I was feeling pretty good at going here, man. It was feeling awesome. Like, this is the offense we've been looking for. Just surgical is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, considering how stressed out we were during the first half of the game.
Yes.
The halftime adjustments, they actually work. The Packers defense recovered a fumble in the last 5 minutes of the game. This kind of felt like the unofficial or official dagger of the game since it put them into scoring position. Green Bay started playing a little more conservatively at this point. Don't want to embarrass Aaron Rodgers. We settled for a field goal attempt. We made this one leading 35-19 with 3:59 left in the game. And by that point, I'm like, okay, I can finally catch my breath because I'm still recovering from some of the lowlights earlier in the game, like McManus missing a 58-yard field goal. In a way, kind of made us miss Havrisek, but at the same time, expecting him to make a 58-yarder on the road is a little bit much. It did give Pittsburgh great starting field position. Thankfully, the defense held the Steelers to another field goal, which they made. Packers are still leading 7-6. And then McManus missed another one during the closing play of the first half as well. And I'm wondering, is this yet another case of the Packers letting a player come back from injury too soon?
I'm just still perplexed by, I understand McManus is great and has a good track record. The guy last week broke the record. Oh, let's bench him. Did he have to go back to school? Did he have some more lesson plans to do? He couldn't come for one more game. I mean, thankfully it didn't matter in the end. We didn't lose by a field goal this time around, but just kind of crazy. There was a pretty brutal third down sack in the second quarter. Third downs have just been those sacks on third downs just feel the worst. Play calling was absolutely awful this season. Love took a nasty hit by two linemen at the same time. They were clean hits, but it was a scary moment for sure. And I got a little rattled, like, it's our boy. Because he's our boy now. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I was getting a little nervous as well. I was starting to scan the sidelines. Okay, is Malik Willis, is he there? Is he ready, just in case? Thankfully, all was well. Now, penalties, they were a big problem, Scott, especially in the first half. Nixon had a PI penalty that gave the Steelers a 25-yard gain, putting them into the red zone. I'm pulling out my hair. And then shortly thereafter, Rodgers threw one to Metcalf for 6, ending extending, I should say, the Pittsburgh Steelers lead. They were up 16-7 at that point. And I'm like, we've got to stop with the flags. These 25-yard penalties, putting them in the red zone. It's a gift, an absolute gift.
It's brutal. That's like the one thing this season that should be easily fixed. Because you look at a lot of these penalties and they're young player penalties. I get it. This is a young team, but just imagine the things we could do without these gimmies to the opposing side.
Yeah, the scoreboard would be spinning with lots of extra Packers points. So that sums up the game, a historic game, a great game. The Steelers wore their 1933 throwback uniforms, which almost looked like Packers uniforms. So we adjusted and went to the all whites, which was a good call.
Did that throw you off?
It did
that throw you off as much as we did?
Many times. But thankfully we switched, because otherwise I don't know if even the quarterbacks would know for sure what team to throw the ball to, because it would have been too close.
There was multiple times where I was, because I'm taking notes or I'm doing stuff on my laptop in between, and I'm like, oh, we sacked him. No, wait, that's us. It's just like, I'm not even like, that was an awful decision.
And Rodgers with the yellow helmet, I'm like, wait a minute, he's not on the Packers anymore. Oh my goodness. But we made it out with a victory, so that's good. So much so that it made me inspired to post the weekly poll question. You can find it in the Facebook group, PackersCommunity.com, as well as on X at Packers Fan Pod, shortly after the game is done. So this week, how many points in football parlance does a victory like this raise your confidence levels in our Packers? Does it not move the needle at all? 0 points, same as before, kind of like missing a field goal, nothing happens? Or does it increase your confidence, Scott, by 3 points? A little more confidence. Or how about increasing your confidence in our Packers by 7 points, kind of like a Tucker Kraft TD does? Or does it take it to the limit by 10 or more points, which means this would be a huge season changer in the confidence level? Where are you falling on the scoreboard there?
I'm falling at the 3 points, a bit more confident. This was a great boost and a great step in the right direction, but only half of that game was a step in the right direction. That first half was a little uncomfortable to watch, and I just really want to see that in all 4 quarters. So, yeah, I'm going to say 3 points.
Okay.
How about you?
That's fair enough. I'm going to go with 7 points. I am much more confident. My green and rose gold colored glasses and all. It feels like a Tucker Kraft TD could happen at any moment in any game. So I'm much more confident. And when you combine the votes that came in on Facebook as well as on X, the votes panned out like this. Nobody went with 0 points, being the same as before. 27% say 3 points, like you, Scott, a little more confident. 10%, surprisingly, went with 10 plus points. This is a huge season game changer. And then the winner with 63%, 7 points, much more confident, like those Tucker Kraft TDs. They are very inspiring indeed.
We had some comments on this over at the Packers Fan Podcast Facebook group. First off, Bill Gardner said, the second half gave me hope they can come back to the team they were at the start of the season. Garrett Stritzel says, defense needs to improve on lots of levels. Valentine definitely made a difference. And also, Dan Dyler said, it's hard to view and comment on the game when you're in the stands absorbing all the energy and just being excited. I forgot he was at this game. I feel like the D needed a kick in the butt to get going, but they held Rodgers and company to field goals, and that was huge. I loved seeing the ratio of passes to run flips to be more pass than run heavy, since 8 wasn't having much success. I feel like the offense needs to get out to an early lead so the defense can pin its ears back to protect that lead. I like that strategy as well.
So say we all. And Royal X Storm on X said the second half, when Matt LaFleur stopped handcuffing Jordan Love, showed how damn good Love is. Please let him go ball out more often. And I can relate to that as well. So please make it a point to join the Packers Fan Podcast Facebook community group. Be part of the conversations. It's all at PackersCommunity.com. And of course, we'll have another live game section during the Packers-Panthers game, so we can chat about the highs and lows as they're happening right in front of us.
Be part of the PFP. We want your insights after watching the game against the Panthers, but also please include your Wager a Fun Score guess for the Week 10 Eagles at Packers matchup. Let your voice be heard by either recording your voice attached to an email and sending to feedback at PackersFanPodcast.com, or by calling the PFP voicemail +1 920 3-PACK-GO. We've extended the deadline for your feedback just in case you missed it. Please send in your feedback before 10 a.m. Central on Monday. Of course, the sooner the better. Thank you, and go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go! Go Pack Go! channeling my inner Andre in L.A. Miss you, buddy. Hope you're doing well out there. Jared in Colorado. Love the win. First half was kind of stressful, pretty close, and the Packers ran away with it in that second half. If the Packers can play like they did in the second half, like all season long, then I don't see why we can't win the Super Bowl. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Because that is, I mean, what we saw in the second half, that's what you want to see. They played freaking perfect, damn near perfect. They were dominant in that second half, and looked great. That's all I got to say. Keeping it short today, guys. Green and gold till dead and cold. Have a good one.
Go Pack Go indeed. Thank you, Jared. Do appreciate the email as always. I love that you're channeling your inner Andre in LA. And we miss Andre as well.
Yes.
Andre, hope you're doing well, man. Please keep in touch. Let us know you're okay. And I also like what he said. He's actually almost verbatim saying something, spoiler alert, that I'm going to say later in the episode during our Keys of Victory. But
what's that?
That second half. That second half, if we could play like that, good things are going to happen, and I really want to see that continue. So, yeah, thanks so much, man.
And I almost called you Andre, Jared. And Jared said it. If we play like that, like we did in the second half, we can win the Super Bowl. That warms my heart. It's a beautiful thing. Thanks again, Jared.
Wayne Scott, Art from Texas. Man, what a game. That's the Green Bay Packers team we saw the first 2 weeks. I'm very happy to see him back. Wow. Man, Tucker Kraft, wow. I'm pretty speechless right now. I'm at work. I'm looking at the highlights and stuff, which I shouldn't, but they're short clips. Wilson, I wonder what's going on with Josh Jacobs. I mean, Wilson's been tearing it up every time he goes in there with the same line and everything. I don't know. Also, really quick, guys. Do you guys think we have a kicker controversy? Just your thoughts on that. But all in all, great game by a lot of Micah Parsons. Once again, man, what he's been worth every penny. Rashawn Gary, the pass rush was great. Once again, go Pack Go, and we'll talk next week.
Thanks again, Art. Go Pack Go to you and yours as well, and we look forward to hearing from you again next week as well. I, too, think that this looked a lot like the Packers from weeks 1 and 2. Tucker Kraft, what more can you say? Art, you bring up two good questions. Do we know what is going on with Josh Jacobs, and do you think we're going to have a kicker controversy? Which one do you want to tackle, so to speak, first?
I don't think there's a kicker controversy. That makes it sound. I'm not sure how to read that, because controversy to me makes it sound like that there are players that are at odds with each other. I don't think that's going on. I think this is McManus's first game back after being injured, and you practice all you want, but playing in a game that isn't this important to the Packers, your nerves are going to be shot. I'm not upset with McManus. I was at the time. Don't get me wrong.
You said bad words.
It was kind of brutal, but I still got faith. What happened to Haversick? Is he still on the squad? Is he a backup kicker? Is he going back to school?
I don't know. We should do some research now that we made it through the podcast and everything. I personally hope that he's still on the team, that they can find a way to have a spare just in case Brandon's injury resurfaces. I just think we brought him back too soon and then expected his first field goal attempt to be 58 yards on the road.
Yeah, right? It's just 3 yards less than Haversick
than
did.
The record.
Yeah.
Now, Josh Jacobs, that did cross my mind quite a few times because we were trying to run him at first. He just, for whatever reason, wasn't being super effective. It's very strange. I think he may still have some lingering effects from that injury that they're just not telling us about.
I don't know, man. I feel like sometimes us as Packer fans, if a player's not doing, triple A player level numbers, we start to worry about it. It's okay. He's allowed to have some days where he's not great, and there's going to always be someone that's going to make up for it. This week, it just happened to be Tucker Kraft.
Yeah. A very handy victory, and that's why you have extra at each position, just in case.
Hey guys, this is Garrett from Southern Illinois. It's Victory Monday. Looks like it's going to be raining here all week, but I think I'm going to be singing in the rain. I'm in such a good mood after last night's win in Steeltown. What a roller coaster of emotions. Playing against Rodgers just evokes so many memories of him playing for us. Fourth quarter comebacks, throwing tight spirals into small areas and coming to the line, making his sneers and his hard counts. To see him doing that for another team was kind of hard this time around when it was playing the Packers. But Packers, tale of two halves for us last night. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde scenario. They've been playing that out a few times this year where first half the offense looks good, the defense doesn't. Second half, the defense looks good, the offense doesn't. Once these guys put everything together 4 quarters like they did maybe the first 2 games of the season, these guys are going to be unstoppable. And once everybody's healthy, I think that makes this team a contender. But these guys have got to get healthy. The next few games looks like maybe they're going to be get-right games and get some guys some rest. Playing the Panthers, definitely not necessarily a trap game, but hopefully they don't play down to their level. And we can get some guys some rest and hopefully get ready for the long haul of November and December when we start playing conference games. So have a good one, guys.
Thank you so much, Garrett. Appreciate that. Calling from Southern Illinois, another Illinois buddy that is a Packers fan. I don't know who gets more crap, me being so close to Chicago or you being further away from Green Bay, but tale of two halves is right. It's just kind of crazy to think how good this team could be if we could do that for the entire game and stay healthy. He's got to get healthy. I know we've got some players out, but I feel like it's not hurting us as much, at least with this game. So really great to hear from you, Garrett. Thanks so much. Do appreciate it. Hope that things are drying up down there for you in Southern Illinois.
Fantastic. And Garrett, tell us more about this rain that you speak of. We'd like some of that here in California.
And we get plenty of it, man. Come on up.
We're going to be 92 degrees on Wednesday, late October heat wave, almost November. We got some more listener feedback. Oh, this one's coming to us from near Pittsburgh.
Go, 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 heck, go. Happy National Tucker Craft Day. Woo! Yak and cheese getting it done. First win in 55 years. I'm 49 years old. We'll turn 50 this next June. I have never seen a Packer win in Pittsburgh. That goes back to Bart Starr. Holy moly, that was an electric atmosphere. We took over Acrisure Stadium like no other time. I've been to a few away games, and I'm going to tell you what, that oh my gosh. I got the biggest smile on my face for this Victory Monday. Oh wow. What a doggone game. Awesome atmosphere, awesome fans. I had a totally positive experience with all the Pittsburgh fans that I came in contact with. I ended up staying with a guy. His name is Steeler mascot Troy, and he dresses up like Troy Polamalu. He's a 65-year-old retired dude that is just he lives love and acceptance, and he was just a great guy. Got to stay with him, and because he's kind of a fixture at Acrisure Stadium with the Pittsburgh Steelers for many years, and he gets a lot of access that a lot of other people don't get because he's there so much, and there's apparently very few Pittsburgh Steeler super fans. He was able to get me and Green Bay Grinch into some tailgates. Didn't even have to pay anything, no donations. They just accepted us with open arms and gave us food and drink, and we were merry. But what a game! Starting with Tucker Kraft, of course. 140 plus yards. How about the return of Christian Watson? Woo! The man's coming off of an ACL and MCL tear, and he rips off 85 yards. That's a special player right there. And I expect, and that was he only played 35 snaps out of, I think, 62 plays that the Packers ran. So he's obviously good to go. He will continue to be a fixture in the offensive scheme. Tucker Kraft, of course. But how about Jordan Love with 20 straight completions? I heard a crazy stat listening to Andy Herman on the Pack-A-Day podcast today. He is the first and only NFL quarterback with 20 consecutive completions to have over 350 yards, no interceptions, no sacks. That's a good stat right there. And you know what? I think I said it last week, but we Packer fans have been spoiled by 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And you know what? Just let Love do his thing. Let Matt LaFleur do his thing. I'm still concerned sometimes with his play calling, with LaFleur's play calling, but wins tend to smooth things over, like we had, especially with this big of a game. We got the Carolina Panthers next week, which I'm concerned about because it seems like we always play up or down to our competition. And I'll get into my wager of fun prediction here in a little bit, because I'm thinking ahead to our games. We got the Eagles at home at Lambeau, and then we got the Thanksgiving game against Detroit in Detroit. Those are going to be the 2 biggest tests of the season, I think. Just looking at, because we are the cream of the crop. We are the number 1 seed in the NFC right now. It's amazing to watch this season unfold and see how things happen. And we got to remember, this is like, these are all, a lot of the players are returning, but you also got new players coming in. You had other players that have gone to other teams or who have retired. So, this is a new personnel group. So, of course, there's going to be some hiccups early on in the season. But now we're getting into late October, early November. This is when the games really count. And this team just seems to be really gelling. I'm loving the leadership that Tucker Kraft is showing and that Jordan Love is showing, and you can see it in the post-game interviews that they have. I'm just truly looking forward to watching and the rest of this season play out and see how things go, because this is a special squad. I really think so. And we've been the youngest team for 3 straight years now, and the sky really is the limit. The ceiling of this team and what they can accomplish in the next few years, I think is really going to be something amazing to watch. That's all I got from here. All I got is one more thing, and you know what it is. Go, 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 Pack, go!
Go, Pack, go. Dan Dyler on National Tucker Kraft Victory Monday. You sound so amped up, and it's the day after the game. Much like the very loud Packers fans at Pittsburgh. Man, I was not surprised to hear all the Go Pack Goes coming out of the Arizona Stadium last week, because I've been there a couple times and we take it over. But I am surprised to see so many Packers fans in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, it doesn't help either that, both teams have yellow. So, you get between the terrible towels, the yellow, and you know what I mean? It was a sea of yellow.
Cheeseheads.
In the stadium. So, yeah, cheeseheads as well. But then you throw in, it's sometimes hard to differentiate, from a distance, which ones are Packers fans, which are Steelers fans, unless the Steelers are wearing black. So, it just really felt like a home game, even. And hearing, when things started going well and hearing the Go Pack Goes was awesome. Dan, I got to tell you, I thought of you while I was watching the game, because I don't know if you remember seeing it, Wayne, but there was, maybe it was before the game, right before the game, they were doing interviews with a bunch of those guys that do the costumes and stuff.
Oh, the Packers super fans, yes.
Yeah, they had the guy with the icicles hanging from his cheese head and stuff.
And
they were talking
nose.
to him. Yes, it was. I was like, did Dan make it to national TV and he didn't tell us? Was just gonna let us be surprised, but unfortunately, I didn't see him there. And then I remembered he was at the game, so yeah, of course he wasn't gonna be there. But I thought it was pretty cool. So, I do like what he says about playing down to our competition. With Carolina coming up, we lost to the Browns,
right?
We tied the Cowboys,
right?
So, if we're gonna beat one of those teams, I would rather beat the Eagles than the Panthers. But most of all, I like to beat both of them. So let's just go into this with some confidence, but not overconfidence.
Right. Leave the overconfidence to fans like us. And sure, Dan, we're spoiled at the quarterback position, but I'm fine with that. Mm-hmm. And he ended up forgetting to include his wager of fun guess in the voicemail, but texted it right when we were getting started to record. So I pasted that into the show notes. So stay tuned for everybody's score guesses coming up later in the show. But it is now time. The Packers are finally back at Lambeau. Your 5-1-1 NFC division leading Green Bay Packers are back at Lambeau and hosting the 4-4 Carolina Panthers Sunday, November 2nd at high noon Central Time, which will feel like it's an hour later due to the time change happening in much of the U.S. this coming weekend. So it's going to be a little weird, but that's okay. The Packers lead the all-time series 12-6. The first time we ever met up with the Carolina Panthers was actually in the NFC Championship game, January 12th, 1997. During the game, the temperatures dipped down to 3 degrees Fahrenheit, which is minus 16 degrees Celsius. Of course, the wind chill made it even colder. Former Ram and future Packers linebackers coach, the late, great Kevin Green, was part of that Panthers squad, and he was all amped up before the game, saying he was so happy to be playing at Lambeau Field in the freezing cold and all that good stuff. Green Bay won 30-13 to advance to the Super Bowl and destroy the Patriots, which is always good. It doesn't get anywhere near as memorable as that very first matchup, at least to me, and the Packers have won the 3 most recent matchups. And interesting, even though the series between us and the Panthers has been brief, there are several notable players that have played for both teams. Don Beebe, Rasul Douglas, Eugene Robinson, and of course, Julius Peppers. Do you have any particular Panthers memories, Scott?
No, you got the biggest one, man. I mean, this is a team we play so seldom, and you're not going to top that one. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So, but yeah, I definitely do have some keys to a victory. You want to tell us about the weather before I get to that, though?
Because it could be a factor. It looks potentially chilly, partly cloudy, 51 degrees at kickoff. That's 11 degrees Celsius. And there is a 35 to 40% chance of rain. But I know that's what the forecast said last week for Pittsburgh, and they got nothing. So who knows what's really going to happen. So with that, let's get into those keys, because don't get overconfident, Green Bay.
Yeah, I didn't put that on here because it's just a gimme.
Right.
But yeah, don't get overconfident. But my first strategy is going to be to establish the run game early. And now I know what you're saying. Jordan Love is hot, but he needs to be the powder keg ready to explode later in the game. Instead, the Packers should focus on the run game to start out with, especially since the Panthers' rush defense is relatively weak. It's gotten a little bit better, but still not great. Then they should use inside zone and power run blocks to exploit second-level gaps. Once they've had success with the run game, switch to play-action passes after the defense has been forced to focus on the run. That's when Jordan Love can really shine and run up to score even more. Strategy number 2, back to fundamentals. Sure, I've used this one several times over the years, but we've gotten so many mistakes, so many silly mistakes these last couple games. We may be the youngest team in the league, but it's time to stop using that as an excuse. The dumb penalties need to be put to bed, and the easily dropped passes, granted, those only happened in the first half on Sunday, they need to stop. And strategy number 4 should come with no surprise. Play 4 quarters, guys. The matchup against the Steelers was a tale of 2 halves. So I think somebody above me stole my comment. I swear I wrote this before I heard that voicemail. Leading up to halftime, I was convinced my prediction was going to come true. Halfway through the third quarter, things were completely different. So whatever motivating speech LaFleur gave in the locker room during halftime needs to be his pregame speech from here on out. If Green Bay can play all 4 quarters the way they did the second half of this game, there's not a single team in the entire league that stands a chance. Nobody. And there you have it.
Wow. This is something I haven't heard from you, Scott, in a long time.
You missed it, didn't you?
I did miss it. I love hearing it. Thank you for those keys. Those are excellent ones. And yeah, if they can do these things, and whether it was a LaFleur speech at halftime that turned it around, or Tucker Kraft going around headbutting every single player on the team, who knows? But whatever it takes, that's what they're going to do. So it's going to be an awesome game to watch. But before we dig into the details of guesses and things like that, Scott, I want you to listen up because I've got a question coming your way. Here it is.
Now who's gonna win the wager of fun? Who's gonna win it? I said, who's gonna win it? Who's gonna win it? I said, who's gonna win it? Who's gonna win it? I said, who's gonna win it? Who's gonna win it? I said, who's gonna win it? Gonna win the wager of fun. Go back, go. Who's gonna win in the wager of fun? Who's gonna win it? Go back, go. Gonna win the wager of fun. Gonna win it. No need for kills here. Go back, go. Gonna win the wager of fun. Gonna win it. Go back, go. Gonna win the wager of fun. Gonna win it. Go back, go. Packers Fan Podcast. Go back, go. Gonna win the wager of fun. Go back, go. No need for kills here. Go back, go. Packers Fan Podcast.
Yeah.
I just want our audience to know that is the first time I've heard that. Wayne did not share that with me ahead of time. I had no idea. All we had on our show notes was, I've got a question for you. And I just assumed it was going to be him giving me a hard time. But yeah, apparently we have a theme song now.
There you go. And there's no need for kilts here was the
I
subtitle.
don't know if the audience heard that, if that's going to stay in the audio, but I cracked up when I heard that line. And you know, even with the score the way it is, man, I'm still putting it on the table. I'm just saying.
How do we do this week, Scott, and the listeners?
Well, you did great. My score didn't matter because I picked the Pittsburgh Steelers to win. Your differential, again, doesn't matter for you and I, was 15, but there were some listeners that did better than you. The score was 35-25. You predicted 24-21. And over on the listener side, we had somebody with an 8. Dan Dyler himself was within 8 points on his differential. So he predicted a score of 27-25. So that gives him a win. As for you and I, you've got 4 wins so far this season. Wayne, I've got a big old goose egg, and we've had 1 tie. So I've got quite a bit of making up to do, but there's still half a season left. So, you know, as long as I just do the rest of it, I'm good. Listener leaders in first place, Jay Walters still in the lead with 2 wins. And second place, we now have a 3-way tie between David Hawkins, Brett Connor, and Dan Dyler with 1 win each. And that brings us to our predictions for this week. I feel like I need to get a double shock or something in here because I got some catching up to do. So I'm going to go against what I normally do, what I normally predict. I'm going to say that Green Bay is going to win big on this one. I think they're going to score 30 points. Carolina's only going to get 20.
Oh my. And I wanted to go hog wild, but I think it's going to be a basic game with a basic score. Packers win, of course, 28-17.
All right. Our PFP listener picks for week number 10 of the Packer Fan Wager of Fun. Garrett Stritzel says Green Bay 38, Carolina 13.
Woo!
Brett Connor, Green Bay 30, Carolina 17. Nate Graham, Green Bay 27, Carolina 7. Pac-Man Cam says Green Bay 35, Carolina 20. And Dan Dyler says Green Bay 28, Carolina 13. Lots of really good guesses. I like the Carolina 7. Their offense is definitely not that explosive, but 7, whew, I don't know.
I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out. Thank you, everybody, for your Wager O Fun guesses. Quick look at the NFC North. Packers, of course, 5-1-1. The Lions didn't get a chance to lose this week because they're on their bye week at 5-2. The Bears are 4-3, and the Vikings have a losing record at 3-4. I'm so happy.
Yeah, well, speaking of the Vikings, Carson Wentz is out for the season. He apparently needs some shoulder surgery. So obviously, I don't want the Vikings to be successful, but I'll never wish injury on another player.
No.
So here's to hoping that he recovers because, there was some brutal injuries this weekend.
Indeed, there were. And I'm pretty sure that we'll be seeing the Indianapolis Colts in the AFC Championship game this year, if not the Super Bowl. Daniel Jones has definitely proven that he wasn't the problem the Giants thought he was when they traded him away for almost nothing to the Colts, who are now in first place in the AFC and with the best record in all of the NFL.
Oh, yeah, you can't forget Taylor either. It's just ridiculous what that guy's been doing.
Oh, yeah.
I have him on my fantasy team, not in our league, but in our other fantasy league.
Thank goodness.
And holy cow, when he has his bye week, I'm just gonna chalk that one up to a loss. I think the crazy thing about that league, Wayne, this is like, inside football. I have the most points of any other team in that league. Nobody has scored more points than me, but I'm in third place. It is maddening. I have gotten the worst matchups, but I'm still gonna make the playoffs, hopefully. So
Playoffs.
Speaking of injuries, I don't know if you saw the Giants-Eagles game. I happened to watch that one live.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Scadaboo's injury. He's a rookie running back this year, I believe.
Yeah.
Dislocated his ankle. It's one of those injuries that was so bad that they refused to show it a second time on national TV. And not only that, but the frustration on his teammates' faces were awful. Half, concern for his safety, but also, what's going to happen to the team now? He's one of our star players. He's also undergoing surgery, and I don't know, man. Did you see his ankle?
It was just wrong, and
it was hard to look at, man.
So bad, felt so bad. And although he's a running back and Tucker Kraft's a tight end, he's kind of like the Tucker Kraft of that team. He's just a beast, bowling into people, mowing people over, and we wish him a quick recovery. He's done for the year, but we'll see how it goes next season when Scadaboo's back. And speaking of fantasy football, the Cleveland Browns, the New York Jets, wow, those are some teams, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers all head into their bye weeks. So adjust your fantasy teams as needed.
Yeah, and speaking of, the Jets won their first one this week. Did you see that?
I did see that. My NFL Red Zone was a full bore during the morning games and everything, and the Jets pulled that out. Unbelievable.
The look on the faces of it's just kind of crazy. What a game. Anyway, moving on. My other podcast, The Gaming Outsider, has a new episode out this week, and we are celebrating the 40 year anniversary of the release of the Nintendo Entertainment System, which released back in 1985. We are talking all about that, sharing memories and giving a brief history lesson on one of my favorite consoles of my childhood. Zach also played a game called Dispatch. Wayne, I thought you might be interested in this one, actually. This is a dialogue-heavy game where there's not a lot of action. You're just kind of picking dialogue choices. But you play as a group of characters in a dispatch call center for superheroes. Which I thought was just a fun concept. So you can hear my show at the same places you listen to this one, and you can find our website at thegamingoutsider.com.
And is the theme song for your podcast this week going to be all of you guys blowing into those cartridges from 40 years ago, trying to make them make contact and work?
That would be pretty good. We have to make like a kazoo sound with the blowing or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, that's at thegamingoutsider.com. Thank you so much for continuing to support your Packers Fan Podcast via Patreon. Details on how you can join in, PackersFanPodcast.com/giveback. Now, supporting at the Bart Star level, thank you and Go Pack Go, Mr. Jay Walters. Also, Go Pack Go and thanks to Captain Pack Sparrow, a.k.a. Dan Dyler, for your Jordan Love level patronage.
Brett Favre has inspired our supporters at the level in his honor. Go Pack Go and thank you to Megan, Miguel Ramirez, and Scott Bors. Go Pack Go and thank yous to our Lambo level patrons, Joe Christensen, Hank Davis from the Free Podcast Tools YouTube channel, and Brett Connor. If you too are interested in joining in, check out the details at PackersFanPodcast.com/give back. As a reminder, the Unofficial Packers Fan Podcast is not affiliated with the NFL or the Green Bay Packers, but please do us a favor, tell even more of your friends about the Packers Fan Podcast.
Thank you. Yes, please. And follow us on X/Twitter. We are at Packers Fan Pod. Scott is at GoCast Scott. The Gaming Outsider is at The GoCast, and I am at Wayne Henderson. Now, here's PFP community members Joe Christensen, Andre in LA, Megan, and Dan Dyler helping send the Packers home to Lambeau Field for another victory.
Go, Pack, go!
Go Pack, go!